Okay, so that's monitoring fat. So let's go on to who's been, other than coming here, who's been a member of a gym in which you've gone in and got onto a treadmill or a cross trainer or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen on them, they have like some that have a fat loss burning button. Okay. The drawback with this, what they call the fat loss zone, and they really like to push it, and this is the manufacturers as well, and they're kind of pushing it in the fitness industry, is the point of that is if you're in a fat loss burning zone, you're around, and it will change depending on who you read, it may go up to 65% pushing it of max heart rate. So in other words, you'll be walking, running, whatever it is you're doing, your heart rate will be between 55 and 65% of your maximum heart rate. Now, the reason they call that the fat loss zone is because, let's say, up to 80% of your fuel, of your energy, is coming from fat. And that's why it's called the fat loss zone. So fat is your primary fuel source. And your carbohydrates will also be used. Protein will be tiny. You don't want to be using protein. So that's really bad if that happens. About 3% protein. Carbs will be the rest there. So one of the drawbacks of this is total calories that you burn is very, very low. Because the slower the activity, the more you burn fat. Okay? Because fat is very, very dense. It takes a lot to break it down. And if it's breaking down very slowly, it's like drip feeding you fuel. Okay? Unlike, say, nitrous oxide in a car, which gives you a massive burst of energy. You go really fast, very, very quickly. And that's where carbohydrate can break down very quickly and give you that. Yeah? So, if something is burning very, very slowly, who can give me any ideas about activity you'd have to do in which you're burning fat as a primary energy source? Think really slow.
Weightlifting.
Slower, really slow. Even slower. Sleeping. It's about 80 to 90% of your fat is burned. The rest of it is carbs and a tiny bit of protein to help repair things. So when you're sleeping, as an activity, it's the best fat burning activity you can do, because about up to 90% of your activity. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The drawback is total number of calories burned is negligible. I mean, I'm sure there's a great dissertation to do to get someone to sleep, determine thermal loss. That's how they do it, by measuring temperature loss and stuff like that. And I'm sure they'll probably come up a couple of hundred calories overnight, which is rubbish. Yeah? So the faster you go, the more calories you burn, but the less percentage of fuel is derived from fat. So let's say over 65% of maximum heart rate, what you'll find is that it comes out of the fat burning zone. And that's why a lot of people don't train hard, because they think, I'm no longer in the fat burning zone. But total calories is more. The disadvantage of training above this for somebody who's unfit is they simply can't sustain it long enough. So you may do this initially, develop a basic level of fitness, and as soon as you get, if you're on that treadmill, you get, you know, I've done 20 minutes and this is really easy, this is wasting my time. Time to get out of fat burning zone, start doing intervals. If you can't run for 30 seconds and walk briskly, then for 2 minutes of your recovery, and do intervals that way, whatever it happens to be. Yeah? But as soon as you can get your heart rate, because your heart rate will be like this, and then you'll stop. And that isn't flat line, you're not dead. You know, it's coming down to normal level, okay? So it's obviously going to be fluctuating slightly. But what you really want, once you're fitter, is intervals that do this. Because this is ridiculously good for you. This challenges your heart, okay? You burn loads of calories off. Yes, who cares if only 60% of those calories comes from fat? You're probably burning 2 or 3 times the number of calories. Okay? Now you're going to hear silly figures of 1,000 calories an hour. You'd love to see someone do that, bloody hard work. You have to be very fit to be able to do that. Okay? But as you get that spike, as your heart rate goes up, your heart rate has to determine how many beats a second or minute it has to go to do this high intensity. You may go for that for a minute, and then you're going to recover to that there, and that might be 10k, and that might be 15k, let's say you're running. And your heart has to learn how to recover. And then you may go, right, I need a 2-minute recovery, so I'm not that fit at the moment. and you'll see that come down a little bit more. So it will come down quite quickly and then plateau, and then you're going to take it up, and you can do that and repeat that. And this really challenges the heart. The heart rate recovery is one of the best ways to get monitoring heart rate recovery is one of the best ways to determine fitness.
So if you say you're going to go for a jog, you know, so you could do 5 minutes and then stop for a couple of minutes, then do another 5 minutes.
I wouldn't stop entirely. If you're jogging, if you want to go for say a 20-minute jog, and you're simply not fit enough to it at the moment, you might do, after a good warm-up, you might do a 2-minute jog, a 3-minute jog say, and then you might do a 1-minute run. Or it might be the other way around if you're really unfit. You might do a 3-minute one or a 1-minute jog. And until eventually what it is, it's a long jog. And once you can jog it, then it's a jog, then a run. Jog, then a run.
Right.
But that concept of running and jogging and stuff, there's a guy called